The Gauteng South African Police Service released its crime statistics for the second quarter on Friday, and it revealed a concerning trend in rising kidnapping for ransom cases. And foreign businessmen from countries such as China and India are increasingly the main victims in the 113 cases reported in the 3 months between July and September this year. And to help us make sense of the figures is criminal law expert Allis. Ian, thank you so much for talking to us. Now, the SAPS reports that 6 of the kidnapping cases it dealt with in the second quarter of the year had a combined ransom of 754 million rand demanded. That's a lot of money. How do these criminals operate and know who to target, Ian?
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to the viewers. When one deals with the kidnapping and the kidnapping cartels, it's very, very specific. They target their victims from when they actually leave. These are not just per chance type of kidnappings or what we've had in the past, where there have been certain gangs that are focused on tourists, and it's been almost a chance of opportunity. These are specifically targeted. They know exactly who they're looking for, and they know exactly what the person's timetable and itinerary is. This is not your common variety type of hit them up and try and see if they can score some bank cards. They know exactly who the people are. They know what they're worth, and they know who will also go ahead and be willing to pay the ransom to get them back. So it's a carefully orchestrated operation when it comes to specific type of kidnapping. There's also your more random type of foreigners kidnapping, where they basically pretend to be Uber drivers or taxi people, and they kidnap them for basically jewelry, money, cash, cell phones, that type of thing, knowing that they're a softer target, that they don't actually know the environment, they don't know where they are, they're not au fait with the language. So those are more your opportunistic kidnappings, but these ones are carefully orchestrated operations.
And let's talk a little bit about those targets, Ian. The Institute for Security Studies earlier this year saying that the number of kidnaps for ransom cases shot up by more than 260% when we compare it to the same period last year. Do we have insights into why foreign businesses specifically are being increasingly targeted, and who else these criminals are going after?
It's very simple. They're targeting a lot of the foreign business people because there is a knowledge of how much money they've got at hand and how much money they have access to. Remember, when we are talking about money in the millions, we're not just simply going ahead and saying that that's a person who can go, if they don't have contacts here, they have limited contacts here, that they're just going to be able to transfer 50 or 60 million rand and nobody's going to know the difference. That's very cleverly set out. So the problem is that what happens from the police's point of view, this becomes more of a national intelligence type of aspect of who's coming into the country and who's not coming into the country. We've got very deep leaps into higher authorities as to where the people are, who the people are, leading to the cartels having the knowledge of their abilities and the way to get money out of these entities without going ahead and creating too much of, if I could say, a ripple effect, or being too noticed by places like the Reserve Bank and the normal banking institutions.
Now, Ian, report after report has revealed that, organized crimes such as kidnap for ransom are closely linked to other organized crimes such as human trafficking and dealing in drugs. Could you talk us through how that plays out in South Africa?
If one could go ahead, if one takes out of the idea of the term crime and looks at it as a business. Now, just as you have a lot of different businesses, normal legitimate businesses who have ties overseas and abroad and in different countries and a different network, the same thing actually operates from a criminal point of view. So these criminal syndicates have got very deep claws going into Europe, Asia, South America. So they know how it actually works. They've got their victims studied. These are, and then from that point, it doesn't just become an aspect of, as you say, the kidnapping aspect. They need to know routes to bring in drugs, arms, people from trafficking, people who are who are being human trafficked, to be able to get access to the people. And that's how they bring them through different boundaries. And that's where you have your organized gun running, your drug cartels, your international prostitution syndicates. That is that is the way on how it operates, because there's other ties to other countries and there's travel routes that are utilized in order to bring people through, to bring guns, to bring drugs, and there's ways in how it gets distributed, and then just not it, and it doesn't just stay in South Africa, then it gets sent outside of South Africa to other countries as well. So we almost become like a port in certain regards, also parts of Africa as well, that the similar aspect deals with trafficking in stolen auto parts and things like that, where it's not as known, but there's other type of materials that get filtered through and stolen cars and those type of activities that get transported worldwide. So it almost becomes a filtering system of networks and routes.
Ian, that's very concerning. I think that, Lawa, you said we a port of crime. That is a very huge concern to pay attention to. And a final but very important question, Ian, just connecting to that, are authorities then getting a handle on this? Because the alarm has really been ringing for years now.
Not really. The thing is, yes, there's these new investigation units popping up here and there to try and get a grip on things, but we've been such a center of mass corruption for such a long time, and lawlessness and almost a nice filter route through the world for criminal activity. It's now reached a stage where there can only be said it's a bit too little, too late. The damages have been done. The lawlessness has already crept in. The rot is there. So it's not going to go ahead and improve, maybe marginally, and we might cut out a couple of things of here and there of the unaware tourist getting kidnapped at the airport, taking what he perceives to be the wrong Uber for a credit card or so. But these big, massive organized crime syndicates, there's unfortunately too many deep fingers also going into people in parliament and the rest. So it's not going to get sorted out anytime soon.